Hi, I'm Jane M. Mason from Watching Paint Dry, LLC. And today in this mini demo, we're going to look at painting skies. And skies are wonderful to paint. You can spend as much time and energy working on them as you want. Sometimes you want a sky to have a very complicated look, and other times you want a sky to have just a super simple look. I've divided my paper into 3 horizontal shapes, and the goal will be to just do a sky in each one. The center one I'm going to start with because that's going to be the wettest one and in a way the simplest one. So what I want to decide, and you can use any combination of blues or magentas or whatever you're in the mood with. Cerulean is typically a sky color for paint, and cerulean, which is what I'm dipping into now, tends to have a chalkiness to it. You may or may not like that chalkiness. I tend to enjoy a cerulean sky. So this is a hot pressed paper, so the surface is very smooth. When you're practicing skies, make sure you practice on different surfaces to see the different effect that the surface can have. On this surface, the water will almost bead up. The fact that my paper is at an angle will allow the water to, by gravity, to pretty much fall down this angle of the paper and come more towards the bottom of the paper. So I'll start here, and I'm going across my entire width of my horizontal shape. And I'm just adding a sky. I'm adding a little bit more. I'm changing the color a little bit because often skies have very different colors in them. You can see that the paper is sort of granulating and it's causing these little bumps to come up. That's part of the nature of the paint, and that's part of the nature of the paper. And if you don't like that, a cold pressed paper with a bumpier surface would be a better choice for you. But this is a perfectly good sky. I'm gonna take a little bit of there we go. And as you know, in watching paint dry, you need to stay here, be attentive, and watch it as things like it drips down. Here, this little line that happened here means that when I was mixing my paint, I got a little bubble of pure pigment. This may or may not bother you. I'm going to leave it. If I dip back into this wet and wet right now with my brush and try to erase that, I would leave kind of a blob. So I'm just going to let that go. I don't think anybody will object to it in my sky. And so here's my sky. As you can see, some of the water is coming down by gravity and seeping from here down into a next layer. If you wanted a completely smooth sky, you would either paint this as a flat wash, or if you left the paper flat, it would not pull down so much. Again, I tend to like asymmetry. I tend to like things that have a lot more organic, natural flow to them. So to me, the fact that this is a little bit pulling down is very appealing. Many of these decisions in watercolor are whatever it is that's going to please you. So I'm very happy with that. I'm still going to wait just a couple minutes to make sure that I like the way that it's drying. But we're painting outside, as we usually do, and it's not very windy, but with a little bit of the wind, this is drying fairly quickly. So I don't have to worry about it pulling all the way down. I think we'll be good, and I think that's just about as far as it's going to drag down. I'm going to wait for a minute and watch it, and after a couple minutes, we'll be back, and then I'll paint another sky.